Welcome to my door safety tutorial. I know that not everybody has access to the exact same door that I have in preparing for my door handstand classes, and that's okay. The great thing about this method is that you can use so many different varieties of doors to be able to do the class, but some adjustments do need to be made. The one that I see most importantly is for people that do not have access to a door that locks, where the space is uninterrupted and that they can safely take the class. So for this, I have two hacks that I'm going to show you in this video that you can use before you get to the class to be able to keep your door from opening up on you if you cannot lock it. I also have two different hacks that will be included in this email or in the description below. They are a chair method and also a string/rope method that you can use to tie off the door to keep it locked as well. Those are longer tutorials, so that's why I kept them as separate videos, and they're accessible easily on YouTube, and you can watch them over and over and over again. So I hope you enjoy the photos that I included in this tutorial so that you can see just a glimpse of what it's like to use those two other hacks. The best doorknob to use for the handstand doorknob class is one that's circular. A rounded doorknob is going to give you the best grip, and it's also going to be the sturdiest doorknob that you can use for the class. But don't be worried. If you don't have a doorknob that is circular, you can use a doorknob that is more rectangular or flat, as I like to call it. It's going to be a little bit more of a challenge if you use a doorknob like that, but if you're also more advanced in your handstand practice, you're going to be able to use and pivot and exchange your weight so that you don't come off balance during the class. Another helpful way that you might find a door that's suitable for you is a door that is connected to your outdoor patio or backyard. I know that the summer months are coming up and it'll be warm, and we all love to play and do things outside. So within the privacy and the safety of your own backyard and home, you can safely use that door that's connected to the patio or the backyard that locks. I would suggest very strongly for your safety to use a yoga mat underneath your hand when you're doing the class for handstanding, and also if you have some gymnastic mats or extra yoga mats to pad the spacing around the door that you might be using outside, just to increase your safety. You might take some tumbles and some rolls when you're trying the handstand method out for the first time, or back bend out of it. We all have kind of interesting, weird ways that our body adapts to new exercises that we're doing. So proceed with extreme caution, please, if you do end up doing your class outside, but know that this is also another great door that usually locks that you can use for this handstand method. Another method that you're going to be able to use that I'm going to show you a little bit later in this video is using a closet door. This is also great because people don't usually come in and out so often, and it's a space that is controlled. And a closet door usually does not lock, so it'll be very useful for you to watch this video in seeing the hacks that I've provided, or the little tricks to keep your door from opening, since if you are using your closet door, it usually does not have a lock. Now, if you have a lock in your closet door, fantastic. That'll be really great. Please make sure you always let somebody know that you're going to be locking the door that you're using for the class. And if possible, keep a cell phone inside with you when you are in a space that is possibly locked from the outside, or having someone use a hack for you, or one of the tricks and that you need assistance with later to be able to get out of the door. These are just some. Here is a closet space that you can use perfectly for your handstand doorknob class. These are just some extra precautions that I want you to take when you use the doorknob handstand method in different spaces. Again, there's so many places that you can use this method. In your bedroom, in your living room, you can use the front door, you can use the back door, you can use the door to your den, you can use your balcony door. I wouldn't suggest doing your handstand doorknob practice on a balcony, as again, we don't know how our bodies will react, and we want to make sure that we're in safe spaces and that there's no threat of falling over or falling off of any kind of objects or spaces that could bring us some harm. But if you want to use the inside of those doors, it's totally possible to do so, and it can also increase the fun that you have with the practice in trying it in different doors and spacings around the house, especially because sometimes we might have the perfect door, but it's not in the perfect spot. So in using an imperfect door with the perfect spot, that is totally possible, and we can use a couple of these hacks, which there will be 4, to be able to use that door safely. Feel free always to reach out to me on Instagram or on Facebook at Shenea Stiletto or Shenea Booth, or if you're already signed up on my email list through aerialfitbodies.com, to show me your videos and your photos of you attempting the method. If you're unsure if you can use the door or use the spacing for the handstand class, I can usually and most oftenly figure out a way for you to be able to take the class where you're going to be fulfilled and you're going to feel safe. We can readjust the exercises or even just readjust the spacing of furniture and or different objects for you to be able to take the class and to be able to get the most out of the class. But please don't hesitate to do so. I love to see all of your videos, and it'll also be helpful for you to have a little bit of practice before you get into the class that day. And so your confidence will be boosted, and you will feel like you don't have to worry or have any stresses about whether or not you're going to be able to do the class properly. I have several adjustments and modifications for positions that I know how to make in case you're in a smaller space, confined space, if you're a bigger, longer, taller person, or even if you're a very small person, but you still have a space that isn't super perfect for handstanding. There is a way to be able to do it, trust me. So I'm looking forward to receiving those videos or photos, and I'm always here for you guys. The first trick that I'm going to show you that you can use to block the door that might be perfect for the handstand class but doesn't lock is a yoga mat. A yoga mat is a great way to be able to block the door and keep it closed tightly throughout your handstand class. Using just the single panel of the yoga mat, putting the yoga mat on the inside, push firmly against the door, and then double layering the yoga mat to provide even more thickness. I hope that this trick is useful for you in using the yoga mat to keep your door securely closed while you're taking the handstand class. Again, please practice this before you show up to class on Sunday morning so that you can feel confident and so that you understand how best to manipulate your own yoga mat so that it stays in between the door and the wall perfectly throughout your handstand practice. Second useful trick that you can use to keep your door locked while you're doing the handstand class is a sweater. A good sweater with a good level of thickness, I think, is going to work pretty good for this. You want to take your sweater and then, I guess, adjust the thickness, and you should try this on your own several different times to see how best it works for you and for your door. So you want to open the door, place the sweater inside, and give some weight to it. And that is keeping my door closed, and my door can lock, but without me even locking it, you see I can't open the door because of the sweater blocking. I think you could probably even use a little bit more thickness, or if you have a different method that you see works much better while using the sweater or the shirt, please give it a shot and try it out, and it'll be great to see what it looks like in class. If you have some different ideas for me or some suggestions, feel free to reach out and let me know what you discovered and what you figured out, and you can share it with the rest of the people that are taking the class, and you might be able to help someone who's confused and does not know how to fix their door problem. So thank you so much. So in conclusion, I wanted to provide some other options if you do not feel like you have the perfect door after everything that we've discussed today, but you still absolutely want to be able to take the class while using some kind of object that is safe. If you are a pole dancer, you can use your pole. If you have a drawer, for example, that you can lock or figure out a way to keep from opening up, that is also good because it usually has a nice handle to it that you can use to support yourself throughout the handstanding class. Another option is a weighted chair, and if you can make sure that that chair will not tip over on you throughout your class, that is also a great method that you can use as a substitute for the door for this class. Others have used the top of desks or the top of small tables to take the class as well. I would suggest putting books inside of those or other weights to make sure they're weighted down, as they do not have any kind of handle that you can use to take your weight on. So if those are helpful for you and you practice with those and you see if that's possible for you, but there are different ways that you can use these objects in order to take the class. I wanted to say also an extra special thank you to my fantastic student Erin. She is the mastermind behind the yoga mat and the sweater t-shirt method. So I love that my students bring so many different ideas to the class. Everybody's in so many different experiences and situations taking the handstand doorknob class and the method, and so it's a very shareable experience and it's interactive, and you never know, your idea might be the one that helps someone else take the class in a more effective and safer way. So thanks again, and I hope that you guys feel safer and more adaptive after this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you in my class.